Well, welcome to my chipping video, Paul Runyon style. Now, Runyon believed that you don't hit the high pitch shot unless you need to go over something. So you hit this shot often. And the better you get at it, the more you're going to use it. Now, most wonder if it's just for very short chip shots around the green, but once you get the hang of it, most find that they start to use it for longer distances using their mid-irons. Now, Runyon believed in demonstrating what he was teaching. He felt that golfers learned best by seeing. And when the same motion produced the same results, the belief in it, the belief in the system, followed. He said that explanation meant little unless the eye could confirm it. So in this video, you're going to watch me perform the motion the way he taught it to me.
You've got to have a system that will let it happen. Keep your mind at ease, keep your muscles here at ease, but keep these treacherous, jumpy hands out of the stroke.
Runyon built the stroke around what he called a one-lever system. The arms and the club move together as a single unit. And this can only be done effectively when your forearms are in line with the shaft. The wrists don't act on their own and are not asked to supply lift or speed. By keeping the wrists firm, Runyon removed timing from the stroke and made the strike dependable. Now with the forearms in line with the shaft, that alignment connects the arms directly to the club and keeps everything on one plane. Now this stabilizes the low point and creates a more consistent path. And once that structure is in place, the club always moves in the right direction. Now his hands are turned slightly under, palm up, and that sets this apart. This position made it impossible for the face angle to open or close during the stroke. The grip naturally limited wrist movement and keeps the hands from interfering. The hands were there to support the club, not to guide it. Runyon was very particular about maintaining the loft of the club throughout the stroke, never allowing the wrist to hinge, especially in the transition. Runyon stood very close to the ball, just like in putting, closer than most golfers would expect. At address, he gripped down the shaft with the toe of the club sitting lower than the heel behind the ball. And this allowed the club to interact with the grass less. That's why you won't be making any big divots here, just lightly shaving the turf. This position creates a more upright swing plane, improving both club path and contact. The stroke carries the ball a known distance, and the club selected allows the ball to run a predictable amount. Once those distances were learned by the individual golfer, the stroke required no guessing. For me, my 8-iron carries 1/4 and runs 3/4. My 9-iron carries 1/3 and runs 2/3. And my pitching wedge carries half and runs the other half. I do use my sand wedge with this technique when the situation asks for it. Now it's important that you actually close the club face slightly to the target line. And this is a compensation for the lie angle, the toe being below the heel. Now there's no attempt to square the face during the stroke. What was established at setup remains unchanged through impact. That was a key part of the consistency. Now the ball is played back of center with the weight favoring your lead side, about 70%, 70-30. This ensures the club meets the ball before the ground and keeps the low point in front of the ball throughout every stroke. The stroke itself is made with the upper body pivot, while the lower body remains still. The arms move the club together, just as they did in the putting stroke. The wrists remain firm. There was no effort to lift the ball into the air. The loft of the club does all the heavy lifting. Runyon used to say that a chip shot, the fairway, was only 3 1/4 inches wide, the same width as the hole. He never wanted to miss the fairway. His entire method was built around keeping the club face stable enough to strike the ball on that narrow path every time. Now, Runyon was also a great putter. and he used the same grip and one lever system while putting. Yes, it was different. The wrists were firm, the grip split, and the stroke was controlled entirely by the shoulders and the arms. The putter moved as part of the same one lever structure. And that same structure was what made him such a great chipper. Now, under pressure, timing often fails a golfer. Structure doesn't. Runyan's method held up because it relied on geometry and organization rather than feel. If you watch closely, the motion doesn't change. The alignment remains the same. The contact repeats, and the results follow. Now, interestingly, Paul Runyon rarely demonstrated a full swing for his students, not because he couldn't, but because he believed it was usually a distraction. He felt that watching a great player hit full shots caused golfers to chase positions they couldn't physically achieve, drawing their attention away from the impact conditions that controlled the flight of the ball. Instead, he preferred to teach with small, repeatable motions like half swings, short strokes, movements that revealed a player's intent and understanding of impact. He believed these motions told him more about the golfer than any other swing ever could. He used to say that if you could improve what a player did from 40 yards and in, their confidence would change so completely that the long game would often improve on its own. Well, that was Paul Runyon's method, as he taught it to me and as he demonstrated it. Now it's time for you to go give it a go. Now be patient and make sure you include all of the elements when you practice. Good luck, and I'm looking forward to hearing your comments.
The technique is important, but you're not going to get the use you should out of it unless you practice. Practice, practice, practice for touch. Touch cannot be taught. You have to acquire that.